Good day everyone. Today I will report our C++ program covering operator scenario, float scenario, and if-else scenario. First, operator scenario. The operator scenario in C++ is used to perform mathematical computations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In this program, operators are used to compute the total cost of the food items and remaining change of the student. So, first operator scenario, we step by step explain of how this executes or how the program runs. So first is what we call hash sign include and iostream. So include is used to add a library, while iostream allows the program to use input and output commands like cout or cn. Next, using namespace std. Using namespace std, this allows us to use standard commands like cout and endl without writing std. So instead of writing std, we can put using namespace above without writing std before cout. So next, the main function, the int main. This is the main function or starting point of every C++ program. Next, the input section. So we add this in an input section. So in the input section, we have an integer. So int means the variable stores whole number. So int means integer. And 40, the burger are the variable, and 45 is the value. Next, integer juice is considered as a variable, and 25 is the value. So meaning the price of juice and the price of burger, and also price of chips and the payment, the money given by the student. So next, in total cost, integer total cost is a variable. So we proceed in processing section, so computing the total cost. So the program adds all food prices together, like burger, juice, plus chips. So total cost adding burger, juice, and chips. Next, in change. So that the total cost is 100, and the change equals payment minus the total cost. So the program subtract the total cost from the student payment. And let's move out. So this is the process section, and this is the output. And let's move on to the output. Cout means the output of the output text or the display text on the screen. And the endl is the end line so that it will execute correctly. And this symbol is angle brackets used to enclose library names. So this one. And then see out again, a burger, juice, and chips, and the payment. See out again. And this is the new line escape sequence. Creates a new line in the output. So if we run the program, it will be like this. So let's answer those first question in the program. So first question, what is the purpose of the operator in the program? What is the purpose of the plus operator in the program? So the plus operator is used for addition in the program. It adds the prices of burger juice and the chips to get the total cost of all items purchased. So next question, why is subtraction used to compute the change? Subtraction is used because the program needs to find the remaining money after paying the total bill. The total cost is deducted from the payment amount. So this is the so this is what happened in the change payment, subtract the total cost. So it runs. What is the function of variable? The variable payment. What is the function of the variable payment? The variable payment stores the amount of the money given by the student to the cashier. So here is the payment. The payment variable. This is the amount given by the student or the cashier. So next, VAT and the float. So again, the include IOStream, the include adds the library. IOStream is used for input and output. This is for input and output using namespace std. It's doing this without, so that we can directly put cout instead of putting std before cout or cin. Next, the float. Float is used for decimal numbers. Float variables store values used in the program. So it's because we use decimal numbers, we use a float so that it will store decimal. Integers can't store decimal numbers. So again, cout, adding service charge. So this is the title of the program. So, and also I forgot to explain the return 0. So this is the ends of the program successfully. 0 means there is no error. So that is the final output. So float, total cost equals to 100. This is the service rate. 5.5% of 100 is 5.5 Philippine peso. So float, service charge equals total cost times service rate, and the final amount equals total cost plus service charge. So it will run like this. The total cost equals 100 pesos. Service charge 5% of the 100 is 5.5 peso. So the final amount to pay is equal to 105.5 peso. So this number has a decimal point, so that we use a float so we can execute it in a perfect and accurate value. So let's move out in the questions. So for float questions, why is float used for the service charge? Float is used because the service charge may contain decimal values. That's number one. Since percentage often produce numbers with decimals, float allows the program to store accurate values, so that we use the float. What is the purpose of multiplying the total cost by 0.055? The value 0.055 represents the decimal form of 5.5%. Multiplying the total cost by 0.055 calculates the exact service charge amount, which is the 5.5 peso. Next question. Why are decimal values important in money computations? Decimal values are important because money calculations often include cents or partial amounts. Using decimal makes the computation more accurate and realistic, especially when computing taxes or discount or services or service charges, like this scenario. The running program. So next, we move out in the if-else scenario. So in the if-else scenario, first, again, also put include IOStream using namespace std. I explained that before, and the int main, the starting point of the program. So float, the variable is the total cost, and the 100.0 is the value. Float again service rate, and 5.5 divide 100. Float payment equals 150. So here is the input of, so we call this a single line comment. Input, process, and output. So, and also this if-else condition. If-else condition.